Welcome to the Link podcast. Electra Link has been a leader in industrial operations and has been working in the industrial communications industry since 1992. Our team has the resources, training, knowledge, and equipment to support onshore and offshore operations. Joining me today is Emily Teltschick, an estimator designer for Electra Link. She is here to share her experience and provide insight into what Electra Link is doing in the industrial communications industry. How are you doing today, Emily? And welcome to the Link podcast.
All good, and thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining. Can you tell me about your background before coming to Electra Link?
Sure. Yes, I actually started out in the field back in, it was actually the late 80s. I had a stepfather who very quickly realized twisted pair was going to be a technology that was going to take off. So we went from pulling an old token ring cable, which very few people in the industry even know what that is any longer. We flipped over to twisted pair. He one day came to me and said, "Hey, there's this thing called an RCDD. Would you like to go test for it?" I said, "Sure, whatever you like." So I ran off to Florida, did a little 2.5-day cram course, took the test, passed it, came home, and then the headhunters started calling. So then I realized this is a very, very viable career. So anyway, ended up in Houston, worked for some of your major competitors of Electra Link. Finally, eventually, made my way to Electra Link. It's very much my home. It is my tribe, to use that silly term. And so here I am today.
Okay. And when you came to Electra Link, what role did you join Electra Link as, or division did you join?
I came in as an estimator, and at the time, there was only one estimator working in the industrial field, and it was just too much for one man. It was just way too much. So I came in basically just to help him out, take off some of the load, and then that kind of grew into some of the other commercial accounts as well. So really, wherever we need the help and we need the estimation, I'm there.
Okay, awesome. Okay, can you kind of tell me about what being an estimator designer does, what your day-to-day kind of looks like?
Okay, so basically it varies. At times we'll have a customer call us, and they simply know that they need connectivity for whatever reason. It could be a Wi-Fi distribution. We're seeing that a lot of the monitoring is being done physically with a human being walking around with a tablet. We could have remote monitoring. Both of those are somehow, some way going to need network connectivity. So they may not know at all how they're going to get any kind of connectivity to an area. We go out, we walk it down with them, we design it. Could entail some conduit installation and design as well. Walking down cable trays. Could have some underground pathways that need to put in, or we need to verify they're viable. On the other hand, there could have been an engineer involved before it even got to us. And so now we're bidding to their plan. And a lot of times we're working alongside the engineer all the way through the process. It could take, many times it'll take 2 to 3 years for us to actually pull a cable. From the initial talk of the project, designing it, those guys having to go out and find the budget, make sure they can pay for it, and then us actually getting to install.
Wow. So then as an estimator, are you actually going out to the job sites and walking them with them?
Regularly. Yes.
Wow.
Which of course entails all of which we'll probably get into a little bit later. Industrial is its own animal. Safety constraints are huge. It's very different from the commercial world. So having a contractor in there that already has the background, they just understand OSHA. They understand the specific safety demands and needs of an individual client. It's very important, or basically you're just not going to have any productivity.
So then you're getting all of the OSHA training and the safety training?
Not to the degree that our technicians do. I'm normally I am 100% escorted by a customer. I do not drive my own vehicle on the plants. I'm driven around on a golf cart, their vehicle, whatever it may be. So for me, it's not as big a deal. For our technicians, it's huge. There's a lot of site-specific training. There's, of course, background checks, drug testing, your higher OSHA level classes, maybe lift certifications, occasionally even forklift certifications. Yes.
So all the things.
All. Yes.
all
of the things. Yes, is a good way to put it. Yes.
Okay. So it kind of sounds like your day-to-day kind of changes.
Rapidly.
Yeah.
Yeah, rapidly. Yeah. It does.
That's awesome.
Which is, again, another point, there. I'll do my little sales pitch for Electra Link. And one of the reasons why I do appreciate the guys that we have in the field, you got to have ingenuity. Things are not going to go just as they're written on paper. If that happens on the commercial side, on the industrial side, it's magnified.
Okay.
It is definitely magnified. The engineer may think he has the best plan in the world, but no, you're not accessing that area. We're not going to be able to install a conduit through that area, pull a cable. You're not getting in that area, so you have to find workarounds.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Did not know any of that. Yes. So Electralink's doing work in the industrial operations, industrial communications industry. Can you tell me a little bit about some of the different types of things that our teams work on? I guess kind of like different types of job sites or different services that we're doing.
Yes. I mean, just like any other company, we have our little daily onesie, twosie service work that goes in the plants. A few cables here, a few cables there. Again, it's not the same as the commercial side because those guys do still have to have all of those certifications, and they have to have the wherewithal to go inside the plant. A lot of people are afraid to be inside these plants. Okay. They're just afraid. It's noisy. There's steam being blown. There's things dripping, and it can be a little daunting. Yeah. But it's, as far as communications go, it's still your basic copper and fiber. It's still the basic. We do, on the industrial side, much more of the pathway work. Okay. So that does get into running conduit, and we're not talking about the easy peasy little EMT stuff. Yeah. These guys are outside in terrible elements often. It's hot. It's cold. Yeah. They deal with all that. Very, very often they're working off a lift. Okay. They're up in the pipe racks with the cable tray. Wow. So, a 60-foot lift is nothing for these men. They get up there and do it.
That would freak me out.
Yeah. That's when I point from the ground personally. Yeah. I can't do them either. No. I mean, they're climbing towers, and it's extremely physical. And then you take into account all those harsh environments, like I was talking about, condensation and steam and just our typical weather. And they're outside terminating fiber. I mean, they're out there getting it done. But again, it's still your same concept, just a different environment. It's still copper, twisted pair, and it's still fiber. Very, very heavy on the fiber. Okay. Things are so spread out. You get into distance limitations, so the fiber comes in. Okay. Yeah. So. Wow.
Would you say the majority of the projects, are they like new construction, or is it already like on existing structures?
It is absolutely both.
Both. Okay.
For sure. Yeah. So new units happen. A turnaround when a plant is shutting down for maintenance, which they are often required to do with certain units. So when those facilities are shut down, or that unit is shut down, that's when they'll bring us in quickly to implement something new while everything's shut down. Because again, the connectivity in the industrial, when those networks are down, it could be costing hundreds of thousands a day because productivity is not happening. Same time with turnarounds, they bring in temporary trailers. They have us come in and wire those up. Everybody moves over there to work temporarily, and now we're back in that unit installing whatever new project that they come up with.
Okay. Is there, because I know we kind of like, I guess like if you look on our website under industrial communications, it kind of lists some of the things we work on, like solar farms, like onshore and offshore rigs, that kind of thing. Is there one that we more commonly work on?
More often we're going to be inside your local facility, like Chevron, Phillips, Braskem, Dow. We do a lot with Dow. Okay. So, I mean, that's what you drive by on pretty much any highway in a rural area. We're inside there pulling fiber.
Okay, so that's kind of the most common type stuff we're doing.
Yeah, the solar farms. They're almost a one and done. Okay. Once we have we've terminated that fiber. We've tested. Unless somebody comes out there and breaks something, it's pretty much done. Right there. The plant, on the other hand, there's maintenance that needs to be done. Maybe somebody put their hands in a fiber box and broke something. Maybe somebody just came in and unplugged something, and now the fiber connector's dirty. And so our guys have to go troubleshoot. Could just be a cleaning. Could just be cleaning the fiber. But the actual plants are the bulk of the industrial work that we do. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Not opposed to the going out and doing the solar farms, but they're
just not the majority of what we're doing. Okay.
Yeah.
What is one project that has kind of stood out to you that you've been a part of? It could be something that I guess is maybe like you've only worked on that like maybe once or twice, or just something that was like really big that you worked on. It could be anything. Okay.
In particular, Chevron Phillips. At the time, we were working at 3 different facilities: Baytown, Sweeney, Pasadena. Major Wi-Fi rollout. Plant-wide, all 3 facilities. Wow. Huge rollouts. And the thing that I did find particularly interesting about those is one of the facilities wanted a very traditional setup, which means the electrician ran power out to each location where the network switch was going to go, and then typical Cat 6 off of that. Which with the Cat 6 you can do some PoE within certain links. Another facility said, "Heck no, we want all new technology," and they ran with the power fiber. So in the end, saved them a ton of money because Electra Link's out there putting in the power fiber. Electricians are only bringing power just to the head-end equipment. Tremendous savings, much shorter deadline. The third facility went with somewhat of a blend of the 2 that I'm talking about. Their largest facility, and I'm not sure they're done yet. Actually, on that one, they may still be working on it. So, the power fiber for the plants, just cost and time, and so often with these facilities, they've worked a year, 2 years just to get the budget. So once that budget is there, it is a use it or lose it, and it must be done. And so I'm starting to see a lot more of that power fiber. It's starting to stick, which is it's a good thing for for the customer as well as Electra Link. It is.
That is good. Yeah. So are we starting to get a lot of that kind of work then?
On the power fiber, a fair amount. And it is now starting to bleed over onto the commercial side as well. So we've done for sure at least one rollout in a full new build tower in downtown Houston. So it's a great product. It's a really good product that everybody, and myself included, was a bit afraid of in the beginning. Just like, no, this is not gonna, no.
Okay, well, good.
Refined. It's refined over the last 3 or 4 years. Good product.
Good. Yeah. And is that something, if a customer isn't really sure what they want, that's things that you recommend?
Yes.
You kind of recommend what to go with?
Yes.
For, I guess, what they're wanting?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it still happens to this day. We see things, even if it ran through an engineer or a consultant. Could have been a cut and paste error. Could have simply been a lack of knowledge, who knows? But we often see designs that are, without a doubt, going against industry standards. And so that is when we do need to kind of raise a red flag, walk them through and then explain why this is probably not what you want to do. It may work day one, but down the road, possibly not. Or maybe it doesn't even work day one, but
Okay, so you kind of step in and make sure that it's the best it can be.
Absolutely.
Kind of moving on to the way that the industry has changed. In your opinion, what are some ways that you would say the industrial operations communications industry has changed over the years, just since you've kind of started it to now?
One of the things that I am seeing happen that I am 100% in agreement with is, in the beginning, just like in the beginning of the industry in general, you know, for all of your head-in equipment, your switches, what have you, those were thrown into one rack, one cabinet in any random building.
Okay.
When those buildings are often torn down and a new building put right in its facility. They may rip an entire unit out and build ground up an entirely new building. And so when that happens, now all your connectivity, and we were just talking about whenever you don't have the connectivity, your operations are down, so you are losing money literally every minute.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I'm seeing happening is basically your main terminations are starting to be done outside the building in their own standalone double wide cabinet. And so it's much more simple to temporary things up and running. Once the new building's done, it's recabled, and you can take from your cross connect outside the building. So basically, anything that's tying through that cross connect does not need to come down because of that building. And when I say down, I mean off the network. So safety precautions. Those are changing dang near on the daily. There's so many things that tie into safety other than just safety for the matter of human safety. Employees' bonuses, the actual customer employees' bonuses are based on them. There's a multitude of things that are going on with safety, and the constraints are getting tighter. Whether I agree or not, they are getting tighter. And the tolerance for violations is zero. So it's important that our techs are very mindful of what they're doing at all times, wherever they are, in the building, outside the building, on a lift. It doesn't matter. It has to be foremost in the mind all times.
Well, that's important. It's important. What has been your favorite part of working in this industry? Or of your job specifically?
So, I mean, again, huge compliment to Electra Link. We have a great team. I genuinely enjoy the people I work with. Genuinely. They can call me anytime. It can be anytime. It can be business. It can be personal. I so enjoy all these great people that I work with. And then I don't even know if I should say this part, but it is my favorite part. I love the competition. I love winning bids.
Good.
I do. I love the strategizing. I genuinely enjoy partnering with manufacturers, distributors, put that ride or die team together and win it. I love it.
Yes, the A-team.
Yeah, it did. Yes. And then when I lose, not the end of the world. Lessons learned, and I want to go back. I want that feedback. Why did we not get this one? What can we do better?
I think that's good, because then you're always getting better.
Hopefully, that's the plan. Hopefully, yes.
This wasn't on the question list that I sent you, so I'm kind of going off script.
Go ahead.
But I guess for new people coming into this industry that are wanting to kind of do like an estimator designer job, or even just, I guess, be one of the field techs in industrial communications, what would you say are some things that they kind of have to have, like qualities or, I guess, attitude they have to be able to like make it or succeed in it?
Oh, well, I mean, there's kind of the general qualities of pay attention to those that were there before you. I mean, these guys, the knowledge that these men that have been in the field for a decade, 2 decades, it's invaluable. You're not going to necessarily learn it in a book or on YouTube. Pay attention to those men, and realize you're going to have to get your hands dirty sometimes. It's part of it. And then and then understand the other side of it. When you do come into the office, it's a different level of stress. It's never going to be super easy. It's not going to be all fun and games. Like we talked about earlier, deadlines are going to hit. Murphy's Law, things are going to be asked of you. Things are going to be inconvenient to you. It could, and at times it's going to mess up your personal plans. But that's when you just kind of dig in and get it done. If you got to work late, you work late. If you got to work a weekend, you do it. Doesn't have to be the norm, but when necessary, you're gonna shine. If you were the guy that said, you know what, I'll cover it this weekend, people are gonna remember that. It's important. your customer is going to remember it. They see your face all the time. They're going to recognize it.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, and then last question, what would you say is the best advice you can give a customer when looking for an industrial communications partner to work for them? What are some key things that I guess are green flags?
Ingenuity.
Ingenuity?
Absolutely, ingenuity. Again, because that's a different environment. So things are often going to go differently than planned, to say the least. So you have to have guys that are willing to think for themselves and are willing to speak up and make those suggestions.
Yeah.
It can't just be just a standstill. We can't pull through there. So in stopping, no, come to the customer and say, this isn't working. We could do this, this, or this.
Yeah.
Give them some options. Help walk them through it. So again, that's somebody that's paying attention and thinking.
Yeah.
They're actually thinking about solutions, not just the paper says to do this.
Yeah.
It's not going to work out this time.
Yes.
So maybe we should do this instead. Ingenuity is extremely important.
Okay.
And then back to the safety. You have to be aware of the safety.
Yeah.
You have to, and you have to be willing to stop working. Stop yourself, stop the crew. You have to be able to stop, assess the situation, and then move forward accordingly, whatever that may be.
Yeah. No, I think that's good. And for someone who's wanting to hire Electra Link, is it best just for them to reach out to us through like our contact page or call the office? What would you say is the best for like a new customer to do?
Really either or is fine. If for some reason they've talked to another end user and they have a direct contact of a PM, an estimator, salesperson, really call anybody.
Okay.
We love new work, so regardless of how you reach out, you will get a response.
Awesome.
I'm big on the cell phone myself. I give my cell phone number to everybody. Just call me.
Yeah.
You don't have to leave a voicemail with the switchboard or whatever. Just call me.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Emily, for joining us and sharing your knowledge.
Awesome.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to this week's episode of the Link Podcast. We hope you enjoyed hearing from Emily and just kind of about her experience and the work that Electra Link is doing in industrial communications. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to tune in 2 weeks, May 29th, for the next episode of the podcast. You'll have the opportunity to hear from one of Electra Link's AV experts, Lance Richards. So stay tuned, and thank you guys again.